Hi there, trivia fans, and welcome back to Quarantine Trivia number 4. My name's Sean, I'll be your quiz host tonight. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If it's your first time at the quiz, welcome, and I hope you enjoy it. Our quiz this week is going to take the same format as before. We'll have 12 rounds, each with six questions apiece. We'll go through the questions and mark each round as we go. Just let you know as well, if it is your first time here, if you want to check out any of our previous quizzes, they are available both on the Facebook group and our YouTube channel. And we also now have a website you can check out, which is www.quarantinetrivia.seanholroyd.com. The details for all of these will be in the video details at the bottom of the screen. As well, what we'll do for these, as with last week, we'll keep trying it. We had one person took last week on this, but we'll have a form available for you to be able to submit your answers, so you can see how you're doing against other people. You don't have to do this, but it could be a bit of fun. Otherwise, just play along at home, either on pen and paper or in your head, or against other people if you're lucky enough not to be self-isolating on your own. I think that's about it. So we'll go on, just usual spiel before we get started though. This is a free quiz. All content's being provided free of charge, but if you do find that you've got a couple of pounds, couple of dollars to spare due to lockdowns or whatever, if you're not travelling, if you're not going out socialising, so you find that you've got an extra couple of quid, just consider maybe a donation to charity. Any charity should be fine, but if you're not sure which one to do, I try and raise money for a free school here in Phnom Penh, the Ao Khao Foundation. If you want to give a donation to them, it would be very, very much welcome. The URL to their website is at the top of your screen, kidsneededucation.org. Okay, so I will get moving on. So round number one. As usual, round number one is general knowledge. So question number one. Which iconic structure began its construction in California in January 1933? Okay. So again, which iconic structure began its construction in California in January 1933? Okay. Hopefully that's a nice easy one to start with. Question number two. Which 1994 movie starring Jim Carrey, marked the movie debut of future superstar Cameron Diaz? Okay, so which 1994 movie starring Jim Carrey marked the movie debut of future superstar Cameron Diaz? Question number three. In February 2013, which US state became the last to certify Amendment 13 of the US Constitution and thus became the final state to abolish slavery? So I've gone a little bit more serious in tone for this question, yeah. So in February 2013, which US state became the last to certify Amendment 13 of the US Constitution and thus became the final state to abolish slavery? Okay, question number four. Hopefully a nice easy one again. Who is Britain's longest serving monarch? Okay, so who is Britain's longest serving monarch? Obviously a monarch being the king or the queen. Okay, question number four. Which JB, so that's their initials, which JB who lived between 1748 and 1832 was a London-born philosopher best known as a proponent of utilitarianism? So they're not all light and easy questions. There's a few difficult ones in there. So which JB who lived between 1748 and 1832 was a London-born philosopher best known as a proponent of utilitarianism? And question number 6. Nicolas Cage starred opposite which former James Bond actor in the 1996 film The Rock? So again, no change in tone there from question 5 to question 6. So question 6, Nicolas Cage starred opposite which former James Bond actor in the 1996 film The Rock? Okay, so just once more over the questions quickly. Question 1, which iconic structure began its construction in California in January 1933? Question 2, which 1994 movie starring Jim Carrey marked the movie debut of future superstar Cameron Diaz? Question number 3, in February 2013, which US state became the last to certify Amendment 13 of the US Constitution, and thus becoming the final state to abolish slavery? Question 4, who is Britain's longest serving monarch? Question number 5, which JB, who lived between 1748 and 1832, was a London-born philosopher best known as a proponent of utilitarianism? And question number 6, Nicolas Cage starred opposite which former James Bond actor in 1996 film The Rock? Okay, so I hope you've got all those. If you are using the form, get them sent in just now, but obviously before we go to the answers. I'll give you a second to do that. Okay, so going on to the answers now. To change the format slightly, I'll just put them all on one screen while I quickly go over them. So, question number 1, the answer was the Golden Gate Bridge. Question number 2, the answer was the Mask. Number 3's answer was Mississippi. Bonus point if you spelt it right. Question number 4 was Queen Elizabeth II, the current Queen, is the longest running monarch. Question number 5 was Jeremy Bentham. And question number 6 was Sean Connery. Okay, so I hope you got all those. And we will move on now to round number 2. So if you want to get your forms loaded back up, and we'll get moving on. So round number 2 is called Back on the Train Gang. So these questions are all involving trains of some form or other. So question number 1. The Trans-Siberian Express connects Moscow to which other Russian city, which is 5,600 miles away? Okay, so the Trans-Siberian Express connects Moscow to which other Russian city 5,600 miles away? That's not one you'd want a replacement bus service for, I'm thinking. Okay, question number 2. Name the 1951 Hitchcock thriller in which two men meet on a train and discuss killing each other's wives. Again, nice happy film there. So the 1951 Hitchcock thriller in which two men meet on a train and discuss killing each other's wives. Question number 3. What is the 3-letter name used for the French high-speed rail system? Okay, and tell you what, we'll give you a bonus point if you can tell us what that 3-letter name stands for. So it's obviously it's an acronym. So what is the 3-letter name used for the French high-speed rail system? And what do those 3 letters stand for a bonus point? Question number 4. What was the departure time and destination of the train when sung by Gladys Knight and the Pips? Okay, so this was obviously a famous song. So what was the departure time and destination of the train when sung by Gladys Knight and the Pips? And question number 5. Who directed the 1996 film Trainspotting? Funnily enough, not actually that many trains in the film. Okay, so again, who directed the 1996 film Trainspotting? And question number 6. Who had a hit in 1966 with Last Train to Clarksville? Okay. So who had a hit in 1966 with Last Train to Clarksville? And we'll go over those again quickly. Question number 1. The Trans-Siberian Express connects Moscow to which other Russian city 5,600 miles away? Question number 2. Name the 1951 Hitchcock thriller in which two men meet on a train and discuss killing each other's wives. Question number 3. What is the three-letter name used for the French high-speed rail system? And say for a bonus point, what do those three letters stand for? Question number 4. What was the departure time and destination of the train when sung by Gladys Knight and the Pips? Question number 5. Who directed the 1996 film Trainspotting? And question number 6. Who had a hit in 1966 with Last Train to Clarksville? So again, hope you've got all those. Get your forms sent in if you're using that. And we'll get moved on to the answers. Okay, so all aboard. Question number 1's answer is Vladivostok. Vladivostok, not too worried about spelling there. Question number 2 was Strangers on a Train, was the movie. Question number 3 was TGV or TGV, if you're saying it in French. And just to let you know, the letters stand for Train à Grande Vitesse. Apologies for the not even attempting a French accent on that one. Train à Grande Vitesse. Question number 4 was Midnight Train to Georgia. Okay, question number 5 was Danny Boyle. And question number 6 was The Monkees. Okay, so moving on to round number 3. Round number 3 is called Make Light Work of It. So these have all got, and all the answers to the questions are to do with light. Okay, so question number 1. Who is credited with inventing the electric light bulb? Okay, so who's credited with inventing the electric light bulb? Question number 2. Who wrote the poem Charge of the Light Brigade? Can't say I've ever read it, but it's a fairly famous one. Question number 3. In physics, this is multiple choice here. In physics, is light considered A, a particle, B, a wave, C, both, or D, neither? Okay, so again, is light considered a particle, a wave, both, or neither? Question number 4. The Light Fantastic is the second novel of the Discworld series, written by who? So these are some of my favourite books ever, these the Discworld series. So again, The Light Fantastic is the second novel of the Discworld series, written by who? And I'll say, if you haven't read the Discworld series, you really should. Got plenty of time at the moment if you're in lockdown. Question number 5. Which band had a big hit in 1976 with Blinded by the Light? Okay, so in 1976, which band had a hit with Blinded by the Light? And question number 6, another multiple choice one here. In the visible light spectrum, which of these colour lights has the highest frequency? Is it A, red, B, green, or C, blue? So again, in the visible light spectrum, which of these colour lights has the highest frequency? Is it red, green, or blue? So recap those. Question 1, who's credited with inventing the electric light bulb? Question 2, who wrote the poem Charge of the Light Brigade? Question number 3, in physics, is it light considered a particle, a wave, both, or neither? Question number 4, The Light Fantastic is the second novel of the Discworld series, written by who? Question number 5, which band had a big hit in 1976 with Blinded by the Light? And question number 6, in the visible light spectrum, which of these colour lights has the highest frequency? Is it red, green, or blue? Okay, so I hope you've got all those, and if you're using the forms, get your answers sent in. and we'll give it a second and we will go over the answers. Okay, so question number 1, the answer was Thomas Edison. Question number 2's answer was Alfred Lord Tennyson. Question number 3, it is C. Light is considered both a wave and a particle. It acts in some ways according to each. Question 4 is Terry Pratchett. Question number 5 is Manfred Mann. It was originally a Bruce Springsteen song, but the 1976 version, the possibly more famous, or at least it is to me, was Manfred Mann. And question number 6, the answer was blue. Okay, so blue has the highest frequency. Okay, I hope you did okay on that one. Now let's move on. Round number 4, T. Hanks for the memories. So these are all questions about Tom Hanks. Okay, I hope you like the puns. That's about half of writing this quiz is thinking up these round names. So question number 1. Which popular US children's entertainer did Tom Hanks play recently in the movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood? Okay, so which popular US children's entertainer did Tom Hanks play recently in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood? Okay, question number 2. Tom Hanks has won 2 Oscars. For which movies? Okay, so you get a point for each of these. You can name both movies. So he's won 2 Oscars. I think they were both for Best Actor. Which movies did he win for? Question number 3. True or false? Tom Hanks had a star named in his honour following his role in Apollo 13. Okay, so true or false? Tom Hanks had a star named in his honour following his role in Apollo 13. Question number 4. What is the name of Tom Hanks' son, who is also an actor, who appeared with him in some films, including That Thing You Do? So again, what is the name of Tom Hanks' son, who is also an actor, who appeared in some films alongside Tom, including That Thing You Do? Question number 5. Which character in the Toy Story movies did Tom Hanks provide the voice for? Okay, so it's a very famous movie, the Toy Story. So which character in Toy Story did Tom Hanks provide the voice for? And question number 6. How many Steven Spielberg films has Tom Hanks appeared in? Is it A, 4, B, 5, or C, 6? So time to get your thinking caps on there. How many Steven Spielberg films has Tom Hanks appeared in? 4, 5, or 6? Okay, so went back too far there. So go over those again. Question number 1. Which popular US children's entertainer did Tom Hanks play recently in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood? Tom Hanks has won 2 Oscars for which films? Question 3. True or false? Tom Hanks had a star named in his honor following his role in Apollo 13. Question number 4. What is the name of Tom Hanks' son, who is also an actor, who appeared with him in some films, including That Thing You Do? Question number 5. Which character in the Toy Story movies did Tom Hanks provide the voice for? And question number 6. How many Steven Spielberg films has Tom Hanks appeared in? Is it 4, 5, or 6? Okay, so get all your answers down. If you're using the form, get them sent in, and we'll go over the answers. So, number 1, he played Mr. Rogers. Very big in America, not so big elsewhere, but probably got a bit more awareness through the movie recently. Number 2, the 2 films he won were Philadelphia and Forrest Gump. He actually won them back to back in 93 and 94, and I believe was only the second actor who have actually done that. Question number 3, it was false. He actually had an asteroid named after him, not a star. So there is actually an asteroid called 12818 Tom Hanks? Question 4, his son is called Colin Hanks. Okay, I think most recently he's been seen in Jumanji, the second Jumanji film, and the first one, funnily enough. Question number 5, he voiced Woody in the Toy Story movies, the cowboy. And question number 6, the answer was B, 5. He's appeared in 5 Steven Spielberg movies, which were Saving Private Ryan, Catch Me If You Can, The Terminal, Bridge of Spies, and The Post. Okay, so I hope you got those. Moving on, round number 5. This is our first picture round. So the round is called Barnet FC. So if you're not aware, Barnet is Cockney rhyming slang for hair. So it means Barnet Fair, hair. So what we want you to do from these is we want you to identify the footballer from the picture where the face has been blurred out but their hair has been left. Hopefully that hair is enough to identify them for you. If you're not big on sports or football, maybe you want to wait till the next round. Okay, so number 1, who's this? Okay, number 2, who's this? Okay, number 3, who's this? Number 4. Number 5. And number 6. Okay, so we'll go back over those slowly. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Okay, so hope you've got those. Get your forms sent in and we'll go on to the answers. Okay, so number 1 was Taribo West, the Nigerian player. Number 2 was Ruud Gullit. Okay, number 3 was David Luiz, also sometimes known as Sideshow Bob for his hair. Number 4 was Carlos Valderrama. I hope I've got the spelling right there. Question number 5 was Paul Pogba, currently of Manchester United. And question number 6 was Ronaldo. So this was the original Ronaldo, the Brazilian one. I believe that haircut that picture would have been taken during the 98 World Cup in France. Okay, so moving away from sport. This round number 6, is called Easy as ABC. So all these answers have got something in common. They all include the letters A, B, and C in the answer. So hopefully give you a little bit of a clue there. So question number 1. This game is one of the oldest known games in the world at over 5,000 years old. What is it? Okay, so this game is one of the oldest known games in the world at over 5,000 years old. Question number 2. This is a counting tool that was developed hundreds of years before the Hindu-Arabic numeral system. What is it? Okay, so the Hindu-Arabic numeral system, I think, is what was developed into our current system of numbers. Okay, so this is a counting tool that was developed hundreds of years before the Hindu-Arabic numeral system. What is it? Question number 3. This is a female vocal duo whose debut single, Yes Sir, I Can Boogie, became the best-selling single of all time by a female group. Who are they? So So again, this is a female vocal duo whose debut single, Yes Sir, I Can Boogie, became the best-selling single of all time by an all-female group. Who are they? Okay, and by best-selling, these are sort of physical single sales. Obviously, these days with digital, it's all a bit different, but these are by physical sales. Question number 4. This religious group were at the center of the Waco siege by ATF agents in 1993. Who are they? Again, this religious group were at the center of the Waco siege by ATF agents in 1993. Who are they? Okay, question number 5. This 1972 movie musical was directed by Bob Fosse and starred Liza Minnelli. What is it? So 1972 movie musical directed by Bob Fosse and starring Liza Minnelli. And question number 6. This was the first album released by AC/DC following the death of the band's lead singer, Bon Scott. Okay, well, what is it? So again, the first album released by AC/DC following the death of the band lead singer, Bon Scott. What is it? So again, all these answers have got the letters A, B, and C in them. Okay, so quick recap. Question number 1, this game is one of the oldest known games in the world, over 5,000 years old. Question 2, this is a counting tool that was developed hundreds of years before the Hindu-Arabic numeral system. Question number 3, this is a female vocal duo whose debut single, Yes Sir, I Can Boogie, became the best-selling single of all time by a female group. Question number 4, this religious group were at the center of the Waco siege by ATF agents in 1993. Question number 5. This 1972 movie musical was directed by Bob Fosse and starred Liza Minnelli. And question number 6. This was the first album released by AC/DC following the death of the band's lead singer, Bon Scott. Okay, so get your answers down. If you're using the form, get them sent in, and we'll go on to the answers. Okay, so number 1, the game was backgammon. Backgammon. Number 2 was an abacus. Number 3 was baccarat, a female vocal duo. It's actually the 10th best-selling single of all time, which I was quite surprised to learn. Number 4 was the Branch Davidians. Number 5 was Cabaret. And question number 6 was Back in Black. Okay, so hope you did well. Hope you did okay in that round. So moving on to round number 7, as I was saying. So these are all movie quotes. So all I want from you is the name of the movie that the quote comes from. Hopefully it's nice and easy. If you don't watch movies, it might not be. So, question number 1. What movie is the quote, "There's no place like home" from? Now, I realise these may have been used in many other films since, but I want the one where it's most famously from or where it's originally from. Okay, so the famous quote, "There's no place like home." Question number 2. What movie is the quote, "Carpe diem, seize the day, boys, make your lives extraordinary" from? Okay, so Carpe diem, seize the day, boys, make your lives extraordinary. Question number 3. The quote we're looking for is, "Here's looking at you, kid." What movie is that from? Here's looking at you, kid. Okay, question number 4. What movie is the quote, "What we've got here is a failure to communicate" from? So again, what we've got here is a failure to communicate. What movie is that from? Question number 5. What movie is "That'll Do, Pig, That'll Do" from? Again, "That'll do, pig, that'll do." And question number 6. What movie is the quote, "You had me at hello" from? Again, "You had me at hello." Okay, so quick recap. So quotes are: "There's no place like home." "Carpe diem, seize the day, boys, make your lives extraordinary." "Here's looking at you, kid." My favourite movies ever. Question number 4. What we've got here is a failure to communicate. Question 5. That'll do, pig, that'll do. And question number 6. You had me at hello. Okay, so again, get your answers down, get them sent in if you're using the form, and we'll go over the answers. Okay, number 1 was, of course, The Wizard of Oz. Number 2 was Dead Poets Society, with Robin Williams, I believe. Question number 3 was Casablanca. Question number 4 was Cool Hand Luke. Question number 5 was Babe. And question number 6 was Jerry Maguire. Okay, so moving on. Following on from last week, I thought it was a good idea, so I thought we'd do it again. This is our second picture round. This is the man in the surgical mask 2. So all we want you to do is identify the celebrities wearing the masks. So number 1, who's this? Okay, number 2, who's this? And number 3. Number 4. Number 5. And number 6. So again, to show you those, again, just we want the name of the celebrity behind the mask. So number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. And number 6. Okay, so I hope you've got answers for all of these. Get them sent in if you're doing that, and we'll get onto the answers. So number 1 was Stephen King, the horror author, or just author, not all horror, I think. Number 2, Sean Bean, the actor. Number 3 was Serena Williams. Number 4 was Kathy Bates. Number 5 was Emmanuel Macron, French Prime Minister. Or is he President? President, I think he is. And question number 6 is Katy Perry. Okay, moving on, round number 9. This one is called Flock of Seagulls. So this round is all about collective nouns. So what do you call a group of certain type of animals? Now they aren't the most obvious ones, so I've made these all multiple choice. It doesn't necessarily make it much easier for you. So I'll show you what we've got. Question number 1. What is the correct name for a group of buffalo? Is it an obstinacy, a stubbornness, or a tenacity? Again, so what's the correct name? What is a correct name for a group of buffalo? Because these animals sometimes have more than one collective noun. So obstinacy, stubbornness, or tenacity. Okay. Question number 2. What is the correct name for a group of jellyfish? Is it a splat, a slosh, or a smack? Again, what is a correct name for a group of jellyfish? Splat, slosh, or smack? Question number 3. Which is a correct name for a group of cats? Is it a mob, an ambush, or a clowder? Okay, so a mob, an ambush, or a clowder. Question number 4. What is a correct name for a group of cheetahs? Is it coalition, federation, or an alliance? So a coalition, a federation, or an alliance. Question number 5. What is a correct name for a group of eagles? Is it an unkindness, a convocation, or a thunder? Again, an unkindness, a convocation, or a thunder is the correct name for a group of eagles. And question number 6, last one in this round. What is a correct name for a group of flamingos? Is it a flamboyance, a spectacular, or an exuberance? So again, a correct name for a group of flamingos. Is it flamboyance, spectacular, or exuberance? Okay, so get your answers down and get them all sent over if you want. And go on to the answers. Oh, I've missed a screen there. So the answers are A, for buffalo was an obstinacy. Number 2 for jellyfish was a smack. Number 3 for cats was a clowder. Number 4 for cheetahs was a coalition. Number 5 for eagles was a convocation. And number 6 for flamingos was a flamboyance. Okay, so moving on to round number 10, 50 Shades of. So all these answers involve colours. Okay, so question number 1. Bit of a fly back to our picture round here. Which Stephen King novel features a pet mouse named Mr. Jingles? So which Stephen King novel features a pet mouse named Mr. Jingles? Okay. Question number 2. What is the name of Beyonce's oldest child? Okay, so Beyonce's oldest child. Question number 3. In the Marvel movies and comics, what is Wanda Maximoff better known as? So in Marvel movies and comics, what is Wanda Maximoff better known as? Question number 4. What was the second single from Coldplay's debut album Parachutes called? So what was the second single from Coldplay's debut album Parachutes called? Question number 5. Which 1963 movie featured Peter Sellers as a detective trying to catch a notorious jewel thief played by David Niven? Okay, so which 1963 movie featured Peter Sellers as a detective trying to catch a notorious jewel thief played by David Niven? And question number 6. What colour is 0 on a roulette wheel? So again, what colour is 0 on a roulette wheel? Okay, so going back over those questions. Which Stephen King novel features a pet mouse named Mr. Jingles? Question number 2. What is the name of Beyoncé's oldest child? Question number 3. In the Marvel movies and comics, what is Wanda Maximoff better known as? Question number 4. What was the second single from Coldplay's debut album Parachutes called? And question number 5, which 1963 movie featured Peter Sellers as a detective trying to catch a notorious jewel thief played by David Niven? And question number 6, what colour is 0 on a roulette wheel? So, as I say, all of those answers involve colours. So, get all your answers down, check your Dulux colour chart if you need to, and get your form sent over if you're doing that. And now we'll go on to the answers. So, answer number 1, it was the Green Mile. Green Mile. Again, tying back to another one of our rounds there, because that starred Tom Hanks. Number 2, Beyonce's oldest child was Blue Ivy. Number 3, Wanda Maximoff is better known as Scarlet Witch. Question number 4, the Coldplay song was, of course, Yellow. Question number 5 was the Pink Panther. And question number 6, roulette wheel 0 is green. Okay, so I hope you're still doing okay. Hope you're still with us. We're nearly there. So our last 2 rounds are always music trivia and then music intros. So music trivia, question number 1. Other than Adele, 2 artists or groups have had more than one worldwide best-selling album of the year since the year 2000. Name them. You get a point for each. So again, other than Adele, 2 artists or groups have had more than one worldwide best-selling album of the year since the year 2000. Name them. Give you a second to think on that one while I pour a fresh drink. Okay. Number 2. Which female American singer has released albums entitled Wildest Dreams, Break Every Rule, and What's Love Got to Do with It? Again, which female American singer has released albums entitled Wildest Dreams, Break Every Rule, and What's Love Got to Do with It? Question number 3. I Think I'm Gonna Be Sad, I Think It's Today are the opening lyrics to which 1965 hit song? So again, the opening lyrics to the 1965 hit song are I Think I'm Gonna Be Sad, I Think It's Today. So we just need the title of the song here, but if you want to be smart you can put the artist down as well, but you get the whole point just for the name of the song. Question number 4. Which brother was the youngest member of the Bee Gees? Was it Robin, Morris, or Barry? This is assuming that you know that the Bee Gees were all brothers. They were the Gibb brothers. So which of the 3 Gibb brothers was the youngest? Was it Robin, Morris, or Barry? Question number 5. Which rock singer's real name is Vincent Damon Furnier? Okay, so which rock singer's real name is Vincent Damon Furnier? Okay, and last one, question number 6. For which 1986 film did Queen's album A Kind of Magic form the soundtrack? Okay, so again, which 1986 film did Queen's album A Kind of Magic form the soundtrack? Okay, so quick recap of those. Question number 1, other than Adele, 2 artists or groups have had more than one worldwide best-selling album of the year since the year 2000. Name them both, point for each. Question number 2, which female American singer has released albums entitled Wildest Dreams, Break Every Rule, and What's Love Got to Do with It? Question number 3, I Think I'm Gonna Be Sad, I Think It's Today, are the opening lyrics to which 1965 hit song? Question number 4, which brother was the youngest member of the Bee Gees? Was it Robin, Morris, or Barry? Question number 5, which rock singer's real name is Vincent Damon Furnier? And question number 6, for which 1986 film did Queen's album A Kind of Magic form the soundtrack? Okay, so I hope you've got all those. We'll go on to the answers now. Get your forms sent in if you're using the forms. Okay, number 1. So the 2 artists were Coldplay and Eminem. So Coldplay albums were X and Y and Viva La Vida, and Eminem's albums were Recovery and The Eminem Show. So they were all worldwide best-selling album of the year. Question number 2 was Tina Turner had released those albums. Question number 3, the song was Ticket to Ride, which was of course by the Beatles. Question number 4 was the answer was Morris. He was younger than his twin Robin by 35 minutes. Question number 5, Vincent Damon Furnier is Alice Cooper. And question number 6, the 1986 film was Highlander. Highlander. Okay, so I think they had a couple of movies use their albums as soundtracks. So there was that, and there was Flash Gordon. But the answer we want was, of course, Highlander. Okay, so we're on to our last round. This one is music intros. So for these, you're going to hear about 20-25 seconds of 6 songs, the introductions into them. You'll hit, what we're looking for is the name of the artist and the name of the song. Yeah, they're worth a half point each. Okay, what you'll find as well is the songs have been very slightly slowed down just to try and get around copyright notices from Facebook. Hopefully should still be recognizable. So, moving on, I hope you've all ready. So here we go.
Thursday night, everything's fine, except you've got that look in your eye when I'm telling a story and you find it boring. You're thinking of something to say.
Well, I remember every little thing as if it happened only yesterday. Walking by the lake and there was not another car inside. And I never had a girl looking any better than you did.
If all you got to do today is find peace of mind, come round, you can take a piece of mine. And if all you've got to do today.
Okay, so that was the end of the intros. I hope you got all those. So, as we say, we want the name of the artist and the name of the song. They're worth a half point each. Get your answers sent over to me if you're doing that, and we'll go over the answers, and then we'll get the quiz finished. So, you all ready? Number one was Foundation. I think it's Foundations, actually, by Kate Nash. Number two was Paradise by the Dashboard Light by Meatloaf. Number three was Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division. Number four was Bliss by Muse. Question number five was Road Rage by Catatonia. And number six was Money by Pink Floyd. Okay, so tally up your scores. Find out if you've beaten whoever you're playing against for bragging rights. Pop your scores into the comments if you want, if you're using the forms. If we've got enough people, we'll maybe see about putting a leaderboard together. Okay, so that is the end of the quiz. Thank you very much for taking part. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to send suggestions or for future rounds or any changes you want to see. To either drop us a message, or we've got an email address set up as well now, as well as the website, which is quarantinetrivia@seanholroyd.com is the email address. So remember, check out the rest of the videos. Feel free to like and share any of them that you want. Spread the word of Quarantine Trivia, and remember and stay safe and keep washing your hands. And thank you very much, and good night.